Hey guys, Nina here, welcoming you to another reading from the Ladies of Horror Picture Prompt Monthly Challenge, hosted by Elaine Pascal on her channel, The Godmother of Horror. If you'd like to read along or read previously published pieces, please visit spreadingthewritersword.com or ladiesofhorror.com. In the meanwhile, enjoy the reading.
The Frozen Bloom by Kathleen McCluskey. Deep in the remnants of Eden, where no human foot should tread, a single branch grew. Encased in an enamel sheath of ice, it stood as the last relic of a paradise long forsaken by God and angels alike. The branch, they whispered, was the final living fragment of the tree of knowledge, the source of humanity's first sin. Over centuries, rumors spread of its existence, carried by desperate whispers in the dark. It was said that the bloom within the ice held secrets even the serpent dared not reveal. Some believed it to be salvation, others a punishment worse than death. None who sought the bloom ever returned. Annie had heard the whispers, faint at first, but growing louder each night. The voice was soft, almost soothing, coiling around her thoughts like a viper. Come, you are worthy. Break the ice. Taste the bloom, and all shall be revealed. Desperation drove her. Her life was a crumbling ruin. Debts she couldn't pay, betrayals she couldn't forgive, and a loneliness that gnawed at her soul. If the bloom held even a sliver of truth or power, it was worth the risk. The journey was brutal. Eden was no longer the lush paradise of old. Now it was a barren wasteland, a place where the sun seemed afraid to shine. Shadows danced unnaturally beneath the gnarled tree, and the air carried a chill that burrowed into her bones. When Annie finally found the branch, she stopped dead. It was smaller than she'd imagined, a fragile stem encased in the ice so clear it shimmered like glass. The flower within, a scarlet bud, pulsed faintly as though alive. It didn't belong here, not in this desolate place. It was too vibrant, too perfect. She hesitated. The voice returned, low and insistent. Do not fear. This is what you came for. Her breath fogged in the frozen air as she reached out. The ice was colder than she expected. Her fingertips burned as if seared by fire. For a moment, she thought she could hear faint screams coming from within, but they were quickly drowned out by the voice. Break the ice. Take what's yours. Her fingers trembled, but she pressed harder. A sharp crack split the air, louder than thunder, as a tiny fracture raced down the length of the branch. The sound echoed endlessly in the dead forest. The ice began to melt, droplets sizzling as they hit the ground. The bloom stirred. Its petals unfurled slowly, revealing a deep red flower that seemed to bleed light. Annie's breath caught in her throat. It was beautiful, more than she'd ever dreamt. But then she saw what lay within. The heart of the flower wasn't a simple stamen or pistil, but a writhing mass of faces, human faces. Their mouths opened and closed in silent screams, their eyes wide with terror. Annie stumbled back, but her hand was frozen in place. She was locked onto the ice of the branch. The voice returned, no longer soft, but sharp and cruel. Did you think knowledge came without a cost? Look, child, look upon the truth. Annie tried to pull away, but it was too late. The faces turned to her, their eyes locking onto hers. She felt a terrible pull, as though her very soul was being ripped from her body. Her reflection appeared in the petals, her own face distorted and twisted in agony. Memories flooded her mind, not her own, but ancient and alien. She saw Cain wandering the cursed earth, the first man to seek the bloom. She saw generations of pilgrims and sinners who had come here, all drawn by the same whispering promise. She saw their fates consumed by the flower, their souls trapped within its petals, forever feeding on the terrible truth. Annie screamed, but no sound came. Her body collapsed to the ground, lifeless, as her face appeared among the others in the bloom. Her mouth lay frozen in an eternal cry. The ice began to reform, crawling up the branch with unnatural speed. Within moments, the bloom was encased once more, as pristine and untouched as it had been previously. Far away, another dream began. A new voice whispered in the ear of a desperate soul. Come, you are worthy. Break the ice. Taste the bloom. All shall be revealed. Eden's curse lives on.